Welcome to another episode of Beyond the CV podcast, where we're unlocking opportunities in the slogan, the guide to your career and financial freedom. Today is the Besikhuluma nemuntu buyaga ECD. ECD stands for Early Childhood Development. But I'll allow Ses'Thembi to introduce herself. But when I spoke or invited Ses'Thembi to this interview, it was because in the past, abantu bebavele basivulela ama-creche and people would just go and work. But nowadays, it seems like there should be a certain training before you can do that. And we want to understand, Uguti, should I train because I don't have options, I don't have grade 12, I don't know what I should do, who should do this training? But let me stop talking. Ses'Thembi, can you please introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Ses'Thembi. I am an ECD facilitator and I am also an ECD founder.
Okay, so Ses'Thembi, I highlighted nasekuqaleni ukuthi in the past people would just open umama kabanibani and then they'll go and leave us there abazali and come back and fetch us later. But nowadays people need this training here, ECD. Can you please reintroduce it to us, what it is and how did it come about?
Okay, let me start about ukuthi kahle kahle iyini ECD. ECD is early childhood development or early childhood education. We know that education starts in the stomach of a mother when she's pregnant. Then umntana nakavela kufanele adevelop. Sidevelopa ini, there are two important things that we need to develop. There are small muscle movement and there are large muscle movement. So for that reason, someone needs to have information on how to develop a child. And there's this concept of how children develop and learn. Because development is learning. It's just that they learn through play. So the education in early childhood development is very important and it is formal. And if you look in South Africa, the government now and the Department of Education, they are taking ECD very serious. Actually, they prioritize it. They put it first before. At 2022, it was said that the reason for grade 12 decline on the pass rate, it is because of the less focus on the early childhood development. So now the focus is on ECD for South Africa to produce good results in matric.
Okay. Now, do we still have schools that are being led by a teacher abanganayo ECD aba just pushing uyasikadela abantwana?
Yes, we do have teachers who are not qualified in the class of early childhood development, and that become a problem. Early childhood development is the reception to formal schooling. So you lay a foundation and prepare that child to learn formally. So if a child is in the classroom and the teacher doesn't know these four important areas of development, it becomes a problem because the teacher will just keep a child in a classroom, they will sing, they will make noise, and she will get frustrated, and bam, unyaga uphelile, they graduate, they go to school, and when they get to grade R, that child is a problem. You can imagine a child wasting 2 or 3 years of their lives. And another thing that is important is the first 1,000 days of every child. And the first 1,000 days start when the child is in the womb of a mother. That's why we always say a mother should communicate with a child. Whatever that you do, you need to know that the child learns from you while they're in the stomach. Then it will go up to 2 years. Those years are very, very important. Those days, actually, let me say those days, the 1,000 days. That's where, as a parent, because ECD doesn't start at school. It starts with me as a parent. I should know that when I'm angry, things that I say with my mouth, my behavior, the way I react on situation, it will affect my child.
Someone is listening at yo mama ukhuluma izinto ezingaka, they don't know your background, information engaka uyithatha up. So Ses'Thembi, can you please take us through how did it start, the ECD journey for you to up to where you are right now?
Mpendulo mina, I grew up in a poor family. So after school, from my primary school and my high school, I would go to a pre-primary school or a preschool in Kwaggafontein, Gogo Soka, and clean the toilets. Then she will give me some money to buy bread for my family.
Okay.
So this thing Then after completed my grade 12, I wanted to be a social worker, but as I've told you that I grew up in a poor family, and the Bele College of Education, when they started the career or the qualification in early childhood development and the foundation phase, we were the first people to go to Ndebele College of Education. So I did my first diploma in education, specializing in early childhood development. Then after that, I decided to open my own school instead of going to work for somebody. I started my early childhood development. I even started a college whereby I will teach and have awareness on the education of young children. So what I do, I facilitate early childhood development at the college level, and I also have an ECD center where I have children. We educate them in ECD.
Okay. Ses'Thembi, I don't know a lot of universities and colleges that are giving ECD training. And a lot of people, maybe they're not even sure if the career ECD, is it something that a person should, a calling, I can say, or it's mainly people dropping out of school or doing grade 12, I don't know what to do, and then now I do my ECD. According to you, who should pursue a career in ECD, and is there a career in ECD?
Any person who has passion in working with children should pursue the ECD career, because it's not about teaching, but it's about developing. You know, that's why we don't even call ECD practitioners teachers, because they do more than teaching. They develop and educate children at the same time. So a person who has passion in working with children, you first need to have love of children. Like if you want to do nursing, you need to have love of helping people, taking care of people. Same as early childhood development. You cannot want to be a soldier and find yourself landing in the classroom of early childhood development, but your passion is to fight, carrying big guns and you know, fight for the country, because you abuse children. So you need to have passion in working with children and have a clear understanding and a decision that you'll make as a person that you want to work with children. And we still need more teachers. The only thing that we have a problem with in South Africa, ECD has been ignored by the government for a long time. And up to this moment, early childhood development is ignored by the government. There's too much stress in people who are working with children in the ECD. Njani, we are not absorbed by the Department of Education, and salaries are paid by the SGB of the ECD, and there are some subsidies that go to the school account, and they will tell you that 40% is for staff salaries, 40% is for food, and 20% is for administration. So logo kwenza kube nzima because salaries in ECD are not that good.
Okay.
Actually, they don't even match the living wage.
Okay.
Yeah.
But is there a possible career ladder? Say, because I see some of the principal, I don't know if it's only principal, they have nice houses, driving nice cars. Because as young people, I might love being with kids, but also I want a certain life for myself. So my question is, if I choose to pursue ECD, will I have growth in career? Although I had the difficulty of finding.
You will have growth, but it will take you to teaching. Let's say you do your NQF level 4, you do your NQF level 5, which is your national diploma. Then When you go to the university, you will do your B.Ed degree specializing. That's what I did, specializing in early childhood development. Then you will decide whether you continue working in the ECD. But once you get to that level, you will definitely want to go to primary school and be absorbed as a teacher. So teachers in ECD are not yet absorbed, and there are no salaries except in private sectors, whereby you go to a private institution, then you get your 15,000, your 20,000 salary, which is much better, than the 1,005, than the 5. Do you know that other centers are paying people 500 rand? Yeah. And you went to school and pay money to study. And plus you have that passion to work with children. We are in negotiation with the government to formalize the early childhood development, because we do have people who are qualified. We do have our Ses'Thembi out there who went further and study, but they're stuck there. And they still want to work with children. They don't want to go to primary schools. They are fine here. So I wish that one day our government in South Africa will take ECD serious, as they're saying. Because when they say we take ECD serious, but they forget about people who should be working with these children and pay them good salaries, then it's not.
I really hope they do get to see this video. But also I saw last week Begunema advert, they were giving 100 unemployed people on ECD in each province, I think.
Yeah.
One of the SITA programs.
Yeah, it's a program, and it's a challenge for ECDs. Let me give you a background. I have early childhood development. I've got people who worked in my ECD center for 15 years.
Okay.
All right? And the government will advertise the opportunities that we are talking about. Yeah. Then they will say to us that we need to absorb young people from the community to come and have experience in our centers, which is not a problem. But they will pay them 3,500 rand.
Yes.
And people who are actually working their week for experience, they're not working, they're earning 500 rand. And you understand what I'm saying? So they rather say, give us the list of people who are already working in the ECD. We've got this learnership that we want to give to the centers, and they bring to our ECD centers that are already there and give them the 500, the 3.5 for that period. It's a relief to someone who has been working, for some time, than to bring someone who is raw from the community. I'm not saying that they don't deserve opportunities, but ECD practitioners who are in the ECD centers, they also deserve that.
Okay.
So that one is good. And you know what they do? After we have helped them to gain experience and understanding of early childhood development in our centers, they take these people and build ECD centers for them. And the ECD center that helped this person to come and gain experience, iyafa. And people who are working there, balahlekelwa umsebenzi, because this person will go and hire umuntu wa abantu bakhe to that ECD center. So this program government is not working for early childhood development. It's just an agenda that they are pushing on their own, but it's not really happening.
It's ban user. So.
I was not user very. So if the government Pendulo it's good life for South Africans. No opportunities for South Africans. They need to understand early childhood development sector. No, so people who are working there, guma high top officers, they don't consult, they don't know what is happening on the ground.
Okay.
So they make policies and make decisions without us who are in the field, But if they can learn to consult before they make decisions, I think their program can make, and you'll find out a person who will come for this learnership is someone who has a qualification in accounting, but because they're stranded, they will come. Then 2 months down the line, then bathola umsebenzi abafundele wona, then it's that 3,000 is just a waste.
It makes sense. It makes sense. So before Ngival, I have two last questions. The first one is that, do you guys, ECD people, your concerns, do they get to those people? Do you have ways to give your concerns to the government?
Yes, we have an ECD assembly. Okay. It's in all 9 provinces, whereby we meet as ECD practitioners and we talk about these issues. In September this year, we'll be having our first conference in Durban as ECD founders in South Africa. Then trying to, this thing, union building, it's not really working for us. So what we have decided as ECD founders, I hope there are those who are listening, we are going to have our first conference of ECD founders in South Africa, where we'll sit down with all the stakeholders in South Africa, talking about these issues, things that really trouble us, and even advise our stakeholders, including the Department of Education and the government, of how do we want things to happen in South Africa, and how are we affected as the ECD sector? Mina njengo Ses'Thembi, my worry are the ECD practitioners who are in those classes every day, making sure that those children are being taught, and they went to schools, and study and get qualified. They graduated, they've got qualifications, they know what they're doing in their ECD center, but come month end, they're like someone who is not qualified, or they don't even get money that the EPWP program people are getting. Those people are not qualified, but ECD practitioners are qualified, but they are not getting the recognition that they deserve. I am standing for early childhood development practitioners.
The conversation is very emotional, and I can feel that it can even go further and further. But if someone that's in the system is patient as in a ECD and get qualified for it, what are the minimum requirements to enroll for an ECD qualification?
I would say ECD at least have grade 12 so that you can able to study further.
Okay.
But with the NQF level 4, you know that NQF level 4 is equivalent to grade 12. For someone who don't have grade 12, you start on NQF level 4 and you go, but you'll find out one day they will set requirements whereby you need to have grade 12, then what. So I always advise people that we do have after matric programs, second chances program. If you're an ECD practitioner, you know that you are there at that center. You know that maybe things can turn around and have an opportunity. Go to centers where you can upgrade your grade 12 and at least obtain grade 12 while you study. So my advice, if we have grade 12, do your ECD. Okay. We need more teachers and we need more ECD centers in South Africa. But we need people who are qualified, people who have understanding on how children develop and learn, and on top of that, by being a cherry on top, the passion of working with children.
Thank you so much, Ses'Thembi, for this insightful conversation. We're still in the Beyond the CV podcast, where we're unlocking opportunities, your guide to your financial and career freedom. If you want to know more information about Ses'Thembi, ECD, what they do, the conference that is happening in Durban, more information will be in the caption. Please share your insight. You can give your comment, whatever that you want to share. Thank you so much for your time.
Bye.